today is all about self-love, all right? So I'm glad you guys all here today to listen about self-love because we need to do that to ourselves. We don't do ourselves self-love that much, right?
Well,
I
some
mean,
people more than others,
some
right?
people's more than other, yeah. Some people more than other. I've been practicing, do my own self-love for over a year now, and it's been great. It's been great. I've been enjoying it. So yeah, we're gonna have some uh, a lot of talk about self love, why it's so important for you, it's so important for your spiritual being. All right, we're gonna talk more about that as well.
But mostly practical tips on how to build more self love practices into your life. Because, like anything else, the more that you practice, the better you get at it. And I do want to first recognize that a lot of my research came from Louise Hay and also Tatiana Manois. Um, so I just wanted to give a shout out to them for their ideas.
Hmm.
Um, and talking about practice, the one thing I want to kind of start with is if it took you 3 or 4 days to drive across the country from California to New York, you wouldn't expect that you could get back in just a couple hours, right?
Sure.
And that's kind of like your self-love journey. You got to give yourself time and patience.
Hmm.
And, it took you a long time to get to where you are. And so you have to give yourself the time and patience to get back to where it is you'd like to be.
Most like about the same time, right? Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe.
Unless
Mhm.
if you drive faster.
So that's the big thing I want to start with is just to expect to be patient and just to implement things little by little and not to expect things to change overnight.
Yeah. I mean, self love is important. It's so important because it is everything. All right. When you have a self love, when you love yourself, you care about yourself. That means you care about everybody else around you, and that is true because you know the benefits of being in love with yourself. You know how it make you feel, so it's easier to uh, give it to somebody else. All right, that's why you need to have this time today for your own personal life, to your own personal love, and stay away from the media, TV, cell phone, and all that stuff, right? Because it will really will help you, right, to care about your spiritual being, and because we human, it's a mind, what, body, mind, and soul, right? Three things: body, mind, and soul. So if all that is connected, you will have a happy life. That is not going to be unhappy life. If all that is connected, you'll be having a happy life. But how can you do that, right? That's the hard part.
Yeah.
How can you do that on the society that we live now?
Well,
There's so many distraction, so many things to do. All right, it's hard.
I think that you were starting to allude to taking time each day to listen to yourself, to meditate. And, we did a whole video on meditation, and there's guided meditations, which are super valuable for filling your mind with really positive and relaxing thoughts. But also taking time each day for silent meditation for a couple of different reasons. One is to just really validate that there is something valuable going on inside of me, to stop always looking for stimulation in the external world on TV and on YouTube and on our phones all the time and calling other people. That there's a time and place for all of that, but also a time and place to just really listen to ourselves and to trust that there is an inner wisdom, and to build that connection with whether the universe, universal knowledge, God, whatever it is, to feel connected and to listen and to validate that what's inside of you is valuable.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, sometimes people talk to themselves. I mean, I think everybody talk to himself. But imagine you start to actually listen to yourself
Mm.
when you're talking to yourself and answer yourself back. It's important. Everybody talk to themselves. I mean, even some people don't want to admit it, but you do. I used to talk to myself a lot, but I wasn't paying attention to it.
Hmm.
But now, when I'm saying something, I have some thought in my mind, and I have to know where that thought come from, how that thought originate in my mind, and why I start to thinking about a particular subject. Right? And sometimes, especially if it's a negative stuff, so how the negative thing just come out in my mind, all right? So it's very important because when you figure out how to thinking about the thoughts do just come out in your mouth, that's how you start taking care of yourself, because you start like seeing if it's worth it to be feeding that thought, all right, or if it's worth it to just let that thought go and just change it, or replace it with different thought, all right, especially if it's negative, you want to bring something positive for you, so you want to replace it, to positive right away before you feel the negative, kind of feeling in your body and starts making you feel, sad and depressed and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So,
mean, I think at the base of all of this is to be intentional, to decide today, if you haven't already, that you're going to be on a journey of self love, and to be intentional to listen for those thoughts and to notice any self criticism. Anytime you're like, oh, that was so stupid. I'm such an idiot. Why did I do that? I always do this, right?
mhm,
Whatever your negative self talk is, and to counteract it. And maybe you need to start with a written list of affirmations. And I'm going to share some with you that I borrowed from Louise Hay,
mhm.
to every time you have one of those negative thoughts, to counterbalance it, right? So really stop criticizing yourself and start saying things to yourself that are uplifting, that are joyful, that are loving, and just start to live your life that way.
Mhm.
The other thing I want to bring up is that change feels uncomfortable. No matter what the situation is, when you start doing
Tell me about it.
something different, it feels uncomfortable and you're going to want to go back to the way you've always done it. And in this case, you're going to want to go back to the way that you've been treating yourself.
Mhm.
Trust me, I've been back and forth a million times. And we learned this exercise at Insight, I believe. And so I want you to cross your hands, interlace your fingers, cross your hands, and notice which thumb you have on top. For me, it's my left thumb. For Toby, it's your right thumb. Perfect. It doesn't matter which one. But now unclasp your hands and now cross them the other way. Feels weird, right?
Mhm.
Feels uncomfortable. Like, ooh, I don't want to do that, right?
Yeah.
Put them back the way they were. Ah. But if you keep doing that and you keep practicing this new way, eventually it'll start to feel comfortable,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so that's what you want to do with self-love, is practice it so much and so often that it starts to feel
Natural.
comfortable and natural, and like, right, saying loving things to yourself, for some of us it just feels so unnatural. And so just keep practicing it.
I mean, just think about it. I mean, you say "I love you" to your loved one, all
mm,
right? You say "I love you" to your, you know, spouse, or you say "I love you" to your
Children,
children,
parents.
to your friend, "I love you." But how many times you say "I love you" to your own self?
So there's a couple
Never.
of important things in there. One is always treat yourself as someone you love,
Mhm.
right? Say yes to yourself. And then the other one is, I kind of forgot, but I'm going to talk about mirror work, right? You look in the mirror each morning and you say, I love you. I really, really love you. What can I do today to make you happy? And then listen, and then follow through. Right? What if you said that to your children? What if you said that to your spouse? Right? But do that to yourself first.
Mhm.
What can I do today to make you happy? And then follow through and just follow where that path leads. And as you start to feel more self love, all the good things are going to start coming into your life.
I mean, it feels good just to hear you just saying that. It's kind of feels, yeah, it feels good, So yeah, I mean, it's amazing. What can I do today to make you feel happier.
Yeah.
Right?
Um, Another one is we talked about when negative thoughts creep into your mind.
Yeah.
Don't beat yourself up about that either. So, beating yourself up and criticizing yourself is off the table if you're on this journey of self love. And when you notice yourself start criticizing or beating yourself up, don't beat yourself up for doing that.
Yeah. I mean,
Right? It's just about gentle redirection. And one of the ideas that Louise Hay has is to get an image in your mind, a very clear image, what it's going to be. The sunsets, a boat, a garden full of flowers, a forest stream. Just get a clear image in your mind. And every time you notice yourself going into negative thoughts, maybe you can just switch over to this other image and focus on it and bring in the detail. Right? Instead of trying to counteract it with a positive affirmation, just kind of like cut it off and
yeah.
go in a different
Yeah.
place. So that's a couple different strategies you can try.
I mean, other thing you can think about is about, if you think something negative, what's your positive of that
The
particular negative?
opposite,
What's
the
your
positive.
opposite? Yeah. What's the positive side of it? And then if you look at it, I mean, because for every negative something, there has to be positive something. You just have to be able to analyze it. And it's good when you be, practicing. And when the thought come in your mind, you will know if it's negative or positive, if it's good or bad. You know what I mean? You will know right away, so you'll be able to change it right away. But it takes time, it takes practice, but it's possible. It's possible to reach that goal. That will help you to achieve a better, life in a daily basis. Yeah. So self-care is not just about meditation. All right, you can talk
Yeah.
about meditation all day long, but you know what, self-care is also about your physical body. All right, it's so important to have your physical health. All right, because if your physical is not perfect, what's going to happen? It will affect your mental as well, because you're not going to be feeling good. You're going to be feeling more stress. No clothes is going to fit you well because you don't feel good about it. But it's not actually not by the clothes. It's about feel confident in you to
So
to
how do
be
you
in
change
certain
that?
way. How do you change that? You exercise. All right. You take a walk, you run, you go to the gym. Uh,
But
you,
I know so many people who are in this place of exercise and eating as a way to punish themselves for what they have done in the
mhm,
past and to change themselves into something lovable. And I really, really want to encourage all of us to stop doing it that way and to say, I love myself so much. I want to take care of this one and only body that I've been gifted with. I want
yeah.
to feed it food that is going to nourish it
Hmm.
well. I want to take it out and give it a good exercise each day to get everything moving smoothly and feeling good, right? Instead of, I have to lose this much weight,
Yeah.
right? In order to be lovable. Just start saying, I'm lovable the way I am. And therefore, I'm going to love myself. I'm going to show myself this self care, which is, and I know for me, when I get into depression and I get into, I don't have time, I don't deserve to exercise. I don't deserve to eat well. I don't deserve to take a shower because I've got too much to do to prove myself. And when I'm healthy, I realize that self care comes first, right? And it's this crazy back and forth. Like once you realize and you start acting in the way that takes care of yourself, then you start feeling better and you start feeling more deserving. But you can turn it around and just do the things anyway.
Yeah. I mean, that's why they said to let it go the perfection, right? You don't have
Yeah.
to be the perfectionist. Just let it go, and just be yourself. Do what you can, and learn what you can't. You know, and just don't beat up yourself. All right, because the things like when something is already in the past, it's not coming to the future, and it's not even going to be in your present moment. Okay, when something is already past, you gotta let it go. Period. It's just how it just the way it works. A past is gone. Past is not coming back, not even to your present moment. But it is hard to have the mindset to actually control your to don't let you think in your past all the time. And the reason why, because we for centuries, I mean, we've been for millions of years, we've been wiring in our DNA
Mm. To be aware
to
of the
be aware
negative.
of a negative, because that's how we
Survive.
we survive for thousands of years.
Yeah.
It's not our fault that we are in this situation. We survive for thousands of years on the fear don't be killed by a lion or all the other stuff was in the world. I don't even know. All right, so to when you learn to have that mentality to control that past is already gone, it's not coming back ever again. And also you focus that's on the future. The future is not a problem, because the future is like, you plan for the future, and you see the future is right there. But you know what, the future is never going to come. There is no future. All right, there is no future.
What do you
you
mean?
what I mean is like, my lights can turn off right now in a second, the moment I finish this work.
And also, as soon as you get there, it's not the future
It's
anymore.
not the
It's
future
still
anymore.
the
It's
present.
still the present.
Yeah.
So that's why we need to learn to live in this present moment.
Yeah.
What I just said right now is gone. I can repeat it, but it's gone. I'm living this moment right now. Every moment I'm living this moment right now. So that's how you be able to control your the negativity, control everything else that it doesn't align with your own self. And that's one other way to do self-care.
Because fear and disappointment and worry and most of those negative emotions are either based in the past, things that happened, what even just happened to me a minute ago
Hmm.
or a day ago
Hmm.
or in childhood, right?
Hmm.
Or they're in the future, what's going to happen in a few minutes, a few days, or way off in many years, right? But if we just stay in the present moment and appreciate where we are right now, appreciate what we're feeling and what we're doing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There's so many things I want to talk about right now. One is that you were talking about fear, what happened in the past,
Hmm.
right? And I sometimes think about it as, you've heard the metaphor of like there's two wolves inside of it and it depends on which one you feed. But also I think about it as like a seed has been planted. Some event happened in your life and that seed got planted in the garden. Are you going to continue to nurture and fertilize and water that seed by retelling that story and thinking about it over and over? Or are you just going to let it die out and nurture the flowers that you want growing in your garden?
Hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Feed and water and talk about the good things that are happening in your life, and think about them,
Yeah.
and feed those.
Yeah. But of course, we're gonna talk all this. We're gonna say all the possibilities, what you can do, what you cannot do, what's a possibility. But the bottom line is like, everybody needs some support.
Mm,
You gotta have support.
mhm.
You can have look for support from your family members, for support for your best friend. You can look for support for even for somebody on the street that you just met, and you end up having a great conversation. I mean, I met people on the street that will had a 45 minutes of conversation. Say, wow, dude, I don't even what's your name? You know what I mean? It happens, all
Mhm.
right. Um, you never know. All right, you have support. It will help you to actually, in a daily basis, analyze more things that come in your thoughts in your mind, and you have a conversation with somebody what happened, it will give you different perspective. So you actually you will learn to slowly change your mindset,
Yeah.
because when you change your mindset, you change everything.
And there are so many amazing books and videos out there and people who've gone
Hmm.
through what you're going through,
Yeah.
something similar, right? And who've come out the other side and who've written their story as a gift to you,
Yeah.
right? So that you can not have to go through it and you can learn from their experience.
Yeah.
Um, Another thing I wanted to talk about is kind of trusting the universe instead of like struggling through to make things happen.
Hmm.
Um, Louise Hay tells this example: when you go to a restaurant and you tell the waiter your order, you don't go a few minutes later to the kitchen to see if they're making it right and to see if it's coming along, right? You just sit there and you trust.
Yeah.
And so, if you're any kind of believer in the universe or God or things are coming your way, what you just need to do is decide what it is that you want and place your order.
And wait for it.
And then not struggle so much. You do, I think, stay open, believe that it's coming, and that way you can recognize the synchronicities and the miracles that you can follow to get to what it is that you want, instead of struggling so hard to make things happen all the time.
Yeah. And that's so not healthy for you, right? Yeah. Other thing also you can do is yeah, there's a lot of personal development events
Yeah,
that you can take. I
it's
mean,
true.
we actually one way that I start my journey to love myself, um is because I even ago I assist insight event.
Attended
Attend
the
that insight event,
insight event.
which is a 3 days live event, and that's where everything changed for me. Basically, that's where everything became more clear to me, that I was living a life that it wasn't the life I wanted to live. Number one, and I was living a life that I had so much hate, because I didn't like what I was doing. I didn't like the situation I was, living. I was like, everything was perfect in terms of, I have no place to live, car to drive, everything's perfect. But my relationship wasn't that great, because I was missing some other parts, because I wasn't love myself. So how can I love my own family, right? How can I give a love to my family if I had no love to myself? But after I learned to love myself, and then I saw something beautiful, in my family. I'm like, I have to change my life. I have to do something different. And I end up, quitting my job to work from home to stay closer to farm and build us, and build something from home that will be next to the family all the time. And but I wouldn't do all this if I didn't work on my personal growth, if I didn't work on my own beings in and
Tune in
tune in
to
to
yourself. Yeah.
my own self, right? And it was very important. And nowadays, like, I mean, I get up early in the morning. I mean, I bathroom, we have big mirror all over the place. So I get up early in the morning and look at myself, and damn, I love myself. I just like, I'm looking good. I love myself, and I keep saying that all day long. I love myself. I love myself. I love what I do. I love everything. I love my life. I love my wife, my kids, my car, my family. You know, and I keep repeating that, and that is just something so natural. That, you know what I mean? Because the first thing that come in my mind nowadays is love. When even somebody can throw something negative to me, and before I used to say something negative to me, I just throw you back with something more negative possible, right?
Mm.
But now, I know if you throw something negative to me, I just stop and then look at you, and I even know I don't answer you, or I'll answer you with something positive, because I am in the confidence that I can stop, hear what you're saying, and know that what you said is because it's you, is not me. I will don't take that personal. All right. And then I will answer you in the way that I will make you feel, you know, a little bit, bad because you said that, but at the same time, for you to go think about it, if you what you said even makes sense, right? But I will try to help you in a one way or another, even if you try to hurt me. So
I think that's so interesting about also kind of the back to the garden analogy. And if my internal world is fertile for negativity, then when someone says something negative, it grows very
yeah,
well
yeah,
inside of me.
yeah.
But if my internal world is only fertile for love and positivity and uplifting, then when someone says something negative, there's nowhere for it to grow inside of me.
No.
It doesn't land.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yeah.
I've gotten myself so protected.
Yeah.
Um,
And that is the first thing you gotta do is don't take things personal. Period. Whatever people say something to you is about them, it's not about you.
yeah.
Period. Don't take it personal.
The other important thing in my life has been to take a few moments to relax. You don't have to always go, take an hour to meditate. You can just take 2 or 3 minutes, take some deep breaths. Well, it don't have to be deep breaths, but take some breaths and just relax. Let yourself know all is well. I love you. All is well. And reset the nervous system, because sometimes I get into like go, 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 go mode, and like everything's overlapping in my calendar and there's too many things to do. And it's very, very beneficial to just take a couple of minutes and relax. All is well. I love you. All is well. And just, kind of calm down so that you can enjoy life again.
Yeah.
The other one that I want to share is humor. Being able to laugh at yourself, at others, at the situation. Take things more lightly. I think so often personal development can be so heavy, right? It can feel like it's so much work, but actually just enjoy the whole process and everything that's going on around you, right?
Yeah,
and just
yeah,
laugh at,
yeah.
if I do the same thing that I've always done, instead of being like, oh, I'm such an idiot, like laugh and be like,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Oh, look, I did that again.
yeah.
Funny. I always do that.
I mean,
Right?
I remember when we started this business, and my computer skills was really, really bad. All right, so everything I have to ask Melanie, ask Melanie. But I took my pride out. I'm like, I'm here. I need to learn the new skills. I have to do what I gotta do. I'm gonna take my pride out. I'm gonna ask, my wife or whatever person need to help me to be alignment with the where I want to be. And nowadays, I'm like things that it's fun. But nowadays, things that I couldn't do before, I'm like I close my eyes and just do it and just feel like, oh, really? I didn't know how to do that stuff. It kind of feel, you know, funny to
like you're
think about.
celebrating and
Celebrating
recognizing
it.
how
Yeah,
far you've
yeah.
come.
How come? I
Absolutely.
mean, which is awesome. Which is awesome. You can do anything you put your mind to. It's just willing to do it. Are you willing to do? Are you willing to take a time a day and dedicate it to yourself? Where especially you put your phone away and you just turn off your phone, the TV, any social media you have, just cut out. I'm the people, everybody, just be you yourself, and just you. All right? Can you do that 1 hour a day? Is that possible? Even half hour a day? Can you do that to yourself? And just be in your own thoughts. Check it out and see what's a possibility, because the possibility is actually unlimited if you really think about it.
Final thoughts, because believe it or not, half an hour just flew right by.
Oh, really?
I think that this sentence, I'm willing to learn to love myself. If you take nothing else away from this whole conversation, I'm willing to learn to love myself, or I'm ready to love myself. And if that can become your mantra, and that can be the order that you're placing out into the universe, that's all you're asking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to learn to love myself. And then watch what happens.
Yeah.
Right. And allow that to grow inside of you.
Yeah.
Amen. And those of you who are in the VIP mastermind, we'll see you over in the Zoom room. Everybody else, we'll see you in the Facebook group very soon. Love you all. Bye.
Bye-bye.